What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. I know you guys missed me, but don't worry, I'm back. And we're gonna take a look at last weekend. I didn't pick the top 3 fights for this episode. I decided to do a shout out to the best 3 events instead. I looked at these events globally, ranking them by taking into account the level of opposition they proposed, the finishes, and how the crowd reacted. After that, we'll get a quick look at what happened all over the globe. So let's get ready to rumble! On the menu we had the Combat FC 7 in Wilmington on Friday 24th, the Brave CF 83 in Alkmaar on Saturday 25th, Cage Warriors 172 in Newcastle on Saturday 25th, La Conquête in Quebec on Saturday 25th, and the Taylor vs Catterall 2 boxing events in Leeds on Saturday 25th. Number 3, I picked the Brave CF 83. It was in Alkmaar, Netherlands on Saturday 25th. Brave CF continues to extend their activities in Europe and made the debut in the Netherlands. Only finishes on that card. It was a good card in terms of level. Main event with 2 European veterans, Marcin Bandel and Alex Loore. Loore won early in the first round via TKO. Was a premature stoppage in my opinion, which led the crowd waiting for more. But before that we got some highlight real finishes, guys. Amazing anaconda choke from Chequina Nosso Pedro in the opening fight, submitting the young and then undefeated prospect Ali Isachev. He continues to impress on the European scene after great performances at NFC, PFL and Brave CF. So put some respect on his name and go follow him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fight in other big events like this one in the near future. Magomed Idrisov continues his almost perfect MMA pro career, climbing to 10-1 after submitting Zaka Fatulazadeh, who stepped in on short notice. Then we got Youssef Bouganem, the multiple times Muay Thai world champion, having his second MMA fight, facing also an opponent who stepped in on short notice, Saad Touijar. Hard task for Touijar, overwhelmed by the striking from Bouganem and surprised by his ground game. Bouganem finished the fight in the second round via TKO, climbing at 2-0. Shout out to Touijar, who accepted the fight without full camp. He looked tired as hell in the second round, but he showed a lot of heart. I didn't like his post-fight reaction though. And in the co-main, Noah Blyden, who had a lot of support in the crowd, gave them what they wanted, going all out versus Oscar Ursik. He knocked him out with a nasty body shot in the last minute of round 1. It was a fun event to watch. Too bad some fights fell out, but the guys who stepped in did their best. I didn't like the place they chose for the event. I think they could have aimed for a bigger venue. There are a lot of fighting fans in Netherlands, but the crowd seemed pretty reactive. Brave CF, if you listen to me, go to a bigger venue next time. I'm pretty sure you guys will be sold out. Also, I would have liked a bit more of control on the corner guys. We saw some disrespect after some fights, things getting heated, and that's not a good message we're sending there. Number 2, I picked the Cage Warriors 172. It was in Newcastle on Saturday 25th. A really entertaining event. I watched all the fights from the prelims to the main event, and I think the level was pretty good. In the prelims, I want to highlight the performances from Charles Joyner, clinical in his striking, knocking his opponent out with a knee to the body, and I liked his walkout too. Same song that Volkanovski is using. If somebody knows the name of that song, please let me know in the comments. And the Crocodile Dundee hat, I loved it. Michael Chamu also delivered. Beautiful guillotine choke in the first round, coming back inside the win column after 3 losses in a row. And congrats to Jack Humphreys for his first pro win, showing a lot of maturity in his game at only 20 years old, and winning via rear naked choke in the first round. And the main card tweeted us, only finishes in high level main and co-main events. Hardwick vs Prince really delivered. A lot of tension during the walkout of both fighters. Then great work from Houdini Hardwick, great at managing the distance, going in and out, a lot of body shots, great boxing, and the pressure was difficult to handle for Prince, who was constantly on the back foot. All that led to a beautiful finish from the British in the second round, winning via TKO and becoming the new featherweight champion, with the crowd going crazy. Before that, Power and Kolasinski gave us a banger, both trying to put each other out from the beginning of the fight, and Power finishing the fight early in the round 2, winning by TKO. Kennedy Freeman defeated Giselle Ibanez in a tough contest, knocking her out in the third round and celebrating with the crowd. Leon Hill submitted the tough Tommy Hawthorne via rear naked choke, and Jason Blair got his first win at 155 pounds versus the veteran Arthur's Laisance. Overall, a good card, fighters came all with bad intentions, and the crowd answered the call, supporting the locals. I think Cage Warriors should let their fighters talk a bit after the fight though. I missed that interaction, especially when you have local guys who could have fun with their fans. Still, I really like the atmosphere of those UK cards. And number 1, the Taylor vs Catterall 2 boxing event. It was Saturday 25th in Leeds. What a great event it was, mostly great fights there. The main card started with the great lightweight British prospect Giorgio Visioli, remember that name guys, knocking Sergio Odabai out with a vicious body shot in the round 4. The crowd was still discreet as most of it arrived for the 3 last fights, but you could still hear it cheer for their golden boy. Then the Irish Gary Colley faced Francesco Patera for the WBA Continental Lightweight title. It went to the limit, both showing toughness, Colley getting the win via unanimous decision. Then the level went up a notch, Paddy Donovan going at it with Lewis Ritson for the WBA Continental Welterweight title. Smart and technical approach from Donovan, using his long reach to manage the distance and catching Ritson every time he got too close with powerful shots from the left hand. That paid up in round 9, Donovan bringing the pressure on a tired Ritson, punching him in the ropes until the ref stepped in. Donovan continues his undefeated career, getting a 14th win with an 11th KO. The crowd was also getting louder in that fight, chanting and supporting the local Ritson, even though he didn't win despite the best efforts. The co-main was a clash of powerful guys, Chevon Clark getting the British Cruiserweight title versus Ellis Zorro. Not the best fight to be honest, Zorro was clinching a lot and waiting on Clark to bring up the action. The crowd was falling back asleep until a bit out of nowhere, Clark knocked Zorro out in the last seconds of round 8. That brought back the fans to life, and they were now ready for the main event, a grudge match and a revenge, Taylor vs Catterall. Best fight of the night obviously, and probably the best fight of the weekend as well. From the entrance you could see that everybody was locked in, Catterall, Taylor, the ref, the fans who booed Taylor when he made his walkout. Great atmosphere in the First Direct Arena from Leeds. Taylor started more aggressively, Catterall was trying to stay at distance, setting up his left hand by using his jab. From the third round both guys started to unleash, going toe to toe and trading shots for shots. Really impressive performance from both guys. Catterall got the decision win, logically in my opinion, even though it was close, but it seems that Taylor felt that he did enough to get the win. Great conclusion to that event, the crowd was going crazy and I would have really loved to be there to feel that atmosphere. Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn, please eat a brother up. Of course, I watched everything on TV, so it might not pay the best tribute to those events. On the event from La Conquête in Quebec, I was expecting a lot from the main and co-main, but in the end Billy and Makhmoudov got rid of their respective opponents quite easily. I also didn't like the crowd there, a bit too silent in my opinion. Combat FC had some good fights, a lot of finishes there too, some interesting prospects. I'll be paying more attention to their events from now on. One event I didn't mention, the One Friday Fight 64. As usual, spectacular, a lot of KOs, great crowd at the Lumpini Stadium of Bangkok. I excluded them from my top 3, cause it's not fair. They have fights every week and they're still going crazy. And we done here. As usual, punch those like and subscribe buttons, it helps me a lot. Go hit the comments, go on Discord, Telegram, Instagram, whatever you want, cause I want your thoughts on those events. I'll see you later this week, enjoy the fights!